ඕෂදී මේ පිටුව අනිත් පිටුව දෙකම කියවමු.
Ha teacher.
හ්ම්. ඉවර.
One day, a notice appeared in the town square and announcing that the king would soon arrive for a visit. Immediately, all the young dancing students began practicing for a special concert in the king's honor at the town theatre.
හරි. very good. හරිද? ගොඩක් දන්නේ නැති වචන තියෙනවා නේද? අපි බලමු. අහගන්න හරි pronunciation එක. හොඳද? දන්නේ නැත්නම් අර පොතේ ලියාගන්න. One day, a notice appeared in the town square announcing that the king would soon arrive for a visit. Immediately, all the young dancing students began practicing for a special concert in the king's honor at the town theatre. ඔය අන්තිම වචනේ theatre. හරිද ඕෂදී?
Ha teacher.
හරි. I කියමුද? I කියවන්න.
One day, a notice appeared
appeared. Huh?
appeared in the town square, announcing that the king would soon arrive for a visit.
King would.
King would soon arrive for a visit. Immediately, all the young dancing students
all the young
dancing students began practicing for a special concert in the king's honor at the town
theatre.
Town theatre.
හරි. කාශිමා නිදිද? ඕන වතුර හරි. හරි. මේ page එකත් කියවමු.
Lolly was very excited about it as she knew that the only gift she had to give their great kings was her dancing. So she practiced very hard every minute of the day and deep into the night.
හරි. ඔන්න මම කියවනවා. ආයි අහගෙන හරියට අහගෙන කියවන්න ඕන. Lolly was very excited about it, as she knew that the only gift she had to give their great king was her dancing. So she practiced very hard every minute of the day and deep into the night. ආයිම කියවන්නකෝ.
Lolly was very excited about it as she knew that the only gift she had to give the great king was her dancing. So she practiced very hard every
minute
of the day and deep into the night.
Very good. මතක තියාගන්න ඕන වචන කොහොමද ප්‍රොනවුන්ස් කරන්න කියලා. හරි. හර්ෂිමා.
The parents of the other girls would bring them baskets of yummy food and drinks
for their snack break. Lolly watched them eat and drink with tears in her eyes. She had no one to bring her anything, and none of the girls offered her even a bite of food or a sip of juice. But even when she was hungry and thirsty, she danced so wonderfully that the others were very jealous of her. This made them be mean to her, as they knew they could never dance so well.
Very good. Hari. The parents of the other girls would bring them baskets of yummy food and drinks for their snack break. Lolly watched, Harshima watched, Haridu watched them eat and drink with tears in her eyes. She had no one to bring her anything, and none of the girls offered her even a bit of food or a sip of juice. But even when she was hungry and thirsty, she danced so wonderfully that the others were very jealous of her. This made them be mean to her, as they knew they could never dance so well. හරි. ඔයාගේ තිබ්බේ watch එකයි bit එකයි. Bite නෙවෙයි bit. හරි. මෙතන bite වෙනවා නම් BITE වෙන්න ඕන. හරිනේ? හරි. හරි. ඕෂධි.
They looked at her old torn shoes and showered of the new stained covered honors their fathers had daughter for them. Talk the made her even sadder. Still, it never discouraged Lolly, and she only practiced harder and harder. She danced as lightly as a cloud in the sky.
හරි. ඔන්න මම දැන් කියනවා ආයි අහගෙන ඉඳලා කියවන්න. They laughed at her old torn shoes and showed off the new satin covered ones their fathers had bought for them. ඒක කියවන්නකො ඉස්සෙල්ලා.
They looked at her
They
old torn.
ඕෂධි. They laughed.
They laughed at her old torn shoes and showered of the new stain
Satin
covered honors the
Once.
once their fathers had daughter for them.
Bought for them.
Worked for them.
හරි. ඊට පස්සේ though කියලා තියෙන්නේ. Though this made her even sadder. Still, it never discouraged Lolly, and she only practiced harder and harder. She danced as lightly as a cloud in the sky. Though
This made her even sadder. Still, it never discovered Lolly, and she only Lolly, and she only practiced harder and harder. She danced as lightly as a cloud in the sky.
I danced ඒවා danced එහෙම නෙමෙයි කියන්නේ. හරි. Practiced danced E එක silent කරලා කියන්නේ. හරිද? ඒක මතක තියාගන්න. හරි. හර්ෂිමා.
But there are But 3 days before the big day, she lost her ballet shoes. She had hanged them in the changing room after her rehearsal, but they were not there when she returned the next morning. Lolly looked for them everywhere, but they were nowhere to be found. She was so sad that she cried and cried. How could a ballerina dance without shoes? The mean invest girls were so happy to see her in trouble, and Lolly heard them giggling, which upset her even more. She knew that they had hidden her shoes.
Very good. හරි. ඕෂධි.
She went home crying all the way and told her grandfather that she had lost her shoes, but her poor grandfather did not have enough money to buy a new pair for her. Lolly knew that there were some beautiful ballet shoes at the village shoe shop. She had seen them every day by the window. She always longed to have a pair, but she knew that she could not afford them. However, the little dancer couldn't simply give up. I must do something, she said to herself, just crying on the doorstep won't do any good. I knew I will find some work and earn enough money to buy a new pair of shoes, she decided.
හරි. ඕෂධි. මෙතන but her poor. හරිද? But her poor grandfather. හරිද? ඊට පස්සේ මෙතන have enough. එක ඊට පස්සේ මෙතන she could නෙමෙයි could not afford them. මේක however මේ how කියලානේ තියෙන්නේ. අනිත් ever කෑල්ල අමතක කරන්න මෙතන තියෙන්නේ how කියලානේ. ඊට පස්සේ අනිත් කෑල්ල ever. However, පස්සේ the little dancer couldn't අපහු simply give up. I must do something, she said to herself. Just crying on the doorstep won't do any good. I know I will find some work and earn enough money to buy a new pair of shoes. She decided. ඇය තීරණය කරා. Decided. හරිද? හරි නේද ඕෂධි?
Hurry, teacher.
හරි. එහෙනම් අදට ස්ටෝරි ටයිම් එක ඉවරයි.